Hi and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekend, the show. Hope everyone's keeping well out there, and I hope, I'm just checking, make sure all the equipment's all switched on to make sure we're up and running on SoundCloud as well as DXTL TV from the touchlines on YouTube. Hope you've had a fantastic week. Hope everyone's been enjoying themselves. If you're still on holiday, well, enjoy yourself because it's bound to come to an end soon. I'm back away in September. Miss a couple of games, but at the end of the day, no one will miss me, no doubt, except hopefully on the podcasting and YouTube, because I'm trying to bring to you topics that I think are really, really important and interesting as well, because there is a lot of changes coming on in grassroots football without no heading of the ball. How many of you out there have actually started practicing this, where you're dribbling in now from the sideline instead of throwing the ball in? I haven't seen many of them. I've looked and watched loads of friendly games and everyone is just continuing with the throw-ins. Well, let's see how that goes in September. Okay, you may have seen now that I'm really pushing for financial change at grassroots football. I'm getting loads and loads of feedback, not just from managers and coaches, but now from the parents as well. And I'm seeing social media, and it really is heating up regarding a volunteer manager or coach, when they're out there and about trying to get kids off the street, trying to make sure that those kids are playing some kind of active sport, especially football. There's loads and loads of volunteers out there, and it's horrible to say that word volunteer because everyone's using that. I'm a volunteer myself as well, and obviously this is what I put things into with the DXTL, Don't Cross the Line, which we've established in 2003. No, well, actually, yeah, we did, yeah, and 2008-9, that's when we became a community interest company, CIC, governed by Company's House, and it's the next best thing to a charity. We've looked into being charitable status, and there is a lot of hard work, to be honest. Yeah, you'd have to pack in your employment to do it. Even my accountant, he said, before you do it, really look into it, because there's a lot towards it, you know. So it's not just an easy job, just to flicking over the switch and just saying, I'll go to charitable status. But this is the next best thing that we could do from a community interest company. Now, we're out there publicising all kinds of why people should behave on the sidelines when referees are out there in the middle, because they're the target of verbal abuse and aggressive behaviour. We need to stamp that out, and we'll continue our push for that one. So there's no change in that, definitely no change in that, because the change that we hope for is that everyone will go to a football match and never ever complain to that referee again, or the committee about the referee, or to each other. In a real world that would happen, but unfortunately we know we're in the real world and we just can't end that. So we need to continue our campaign of respect on and off the field of play. We want to make sure that referees in friendlies are made to feel welcome and not go home as if, what have I done, why have I taken this job on? It doesn't make sense to me. Now, I'm seeing a lot of posts, and we'll go back into refereeing very shortly indeed, but you may have seen what I'm trying to do, push for change. I've been a manager for many years, going back towards the early days in 2003, all voluntary, never ever taken a penny out of it. Millions of managers and coaches like myself are still doing it, or I should say thousands. And it's just I wouldn't say it's just because you want to do that. You just want to make sure that by doing it, you're helping a lot of kids out. And that's the difference. It's not for yourself because you're voluntary. It's not that you're getting a fortune out of it. It's all for you and what you're trying to achieve. And make sure that these kids can play football and hopefully not get into any aggressive behaviour on the streets, on our streets in the UK. Unfortunately, that has been happening, and we want that to be whitewashed. We'd all love nice peaceful lives and to be overpaid in jobs, to be looked after in communities. Life, it could be so simple and so easy, but it's very, very difficult to get all that. No matter what we do, there's always something that will go on, especially in grassroots football. You can see it, and I'm looking, and I've been there, done it, seen it, wore the t-shirt, and I see the problems that we have within grassroots football. And we've had over 40 odd years experience, well I have, in grassroots football, so I've seen it from A to B to C to D to E, through the alphabet. I've seen everything that could be seen in grassroots football. So most of all, yeah, kids are still playing, teams are still playing, and there'll be coaches and managers out there going, I'm happy, I don't mind being a volunteer, I'll do it. As soon as the FA bang that drum, 3 lines, yeah, I'm part of them, I'm working with them, I'm a volunteer, I do this, I do that, volunteer. Honestly, it's becoming a pet hate to me now, because I think volunteers are getting used. They really are getting used. And could we say volunteers, vulnerable volunteers? Could we say that? Could we? Because there's work, pages of work now. I'd love to go out there tomorrow, open a business and say, right, I need 1,000 volunteers to help me make money on my business. Because that's what's happening, to be honest. That really is what's happening in many of these big organisations. They're run by volunteers. They're not looked after. It's just that they get more and more work. It costs them more and more money to become a volunteer. Yeah, only these government bodies can give so many free courses out, but every course should be free for a volunteer, regardless. There's enough money out there, enough funding to look after these volunteers, these coaches who are going out and spending a fortune, and not just to spending a fortune on going on courses and DBS checks, safeguarding courses. All these courses cost a fortune, it really does. And if you're lucky enough to have had a free course, brilliant, you can only give so much. But I think now we need to draw the line. Not cross the line, draw the line. We need to do something about this. And we need to do it now before it becomes too late for grassroots football. Now, we've been banging a drum for many, many years, but now we're really going overboard on it, because I've seen it, been there, done it, wore the t-shirts, as I've just said, and we did run a couple of teams, and I saw the difference and what it costs. So from years ago as well, there's nothing changed. The only thing that's changed is all the admin. That really has. It's taken away from leagues who used to do it, and they're voluntary, by the way. It's made their job a lot easier on committees. They're collecting money now just for the referees, off the managers and coaches, the volunteers, to be paid. Now, referees, no argument in that one. They're paid. But what's confusing, they're paid so much money, and they're affiliated to your county FAs, your FA as well. And they get paid, well, the county FA doesn't ask them where they referee, they just lead them to it. They can referee anywhere they want once they're qualified. Could be a level 1, right up till, if I'm level 1, up to level 7, because at the end of the day, you all know, I support the referees in everything they do. But what I don't support is extreme money. Tournaments, I see organisations slating tournaments for offering a referee so much money, and I see referees who turn around and say, I don't mind, I do it for the love of football and the kids playing football. I don't mind, I'll do tournaments like that, I'm not over greedy. And there is a lot of referees who are going out and getting quite a few bob to do tournaments, to referee friendly games. And teams who've got loads of money, there is teams out there, will offer them anything. I'll give you £100 if you do our game, because they come so desperate to have a referee. They might show loads of aggressive behaviour, racist comments, but they'll pay anything to get that referee with them on that day, because it's more official. We all know a game is more official, and you've got to have someone there showing everyone, or making sure that they all adhere to the laws of the game. Simple as that. But my argument is, and many referees will agree with me because I do chat to a lot, it should be capped. It should be capped from levels, because we have referees who come in referee, do the course and that, do it for a few months and then leave to go and do their, you know, it's money, it's pocket money, like we all used to have paper rounds, nothing wrong with that, making a bob or two, saving money, saving your mums and dads money because you're making your own money and it's good money, and then leaving a few months down the line and saying right and getting on with something else. You need, the FA and the county FA need to make sure that these referees stay within the game, and the interested referees who want to make something of it, and I know quite a few of them as well, they want to go far. Let's cap it. You know, if it was capped from the start, you wouldn't have all these problems now. You really wouldn't. And you've got to look after teams as well, because teams are the be-all and end-all of grassroots football. And I had an argument with one of the officials from the FA once, not the FA, county FA, who told me, no, it starts with the referees, end of. It doesn't. Without the referee, without the teams, why would you need a referee? Couldn't grasp it. I support the referees, but at the end of the day, I support coaches and managers as well. And they're the be-all and end-all of grassroots football, because they get these kids off the street, they start the teams up, they go in and they pay the monies, the dues to the FAs, and they're bringing the game, and then suddenly you're in these referees, they're keeping the leagues going, they're keeping everything going, and it's all down to these volunteers who are managers and coaches in grassroots football, but they don't get the respect that they deserve, they really don't. And when it comes to a disciplinary, I think the fines are too extreme for teams, because they're all kids, and when you're working all these out the hubs, we're only charging this 37 pence a game for blah 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 blah. It all mounts up, it all totals up, and you know what, when you come to these hubs and you see these hubs for £51 for training for under sevens per hour for a quarter pitch, then it becomes extreme, and these hubs are charitable status. And I'd like to see concessions, not just for clubs who have so many teams who can get a partnership with them and get cheaper fees and cheaper training. I'd like to see it right across the board, because if you're a manager and a coach, a volunteer, who have brought a team together and you're playing in a league and you're paying your dues, I see no difference what it is to 24 teams, 25 teams, to one team. Give everyone a chance of getting some sort of concession, bring the prices down, and that's what we're trying to do in grassroots football. Don't cross the line, bring the courses down, if not free, give some grassroots football free, build some hubs to make games free for kids. Let's build a free league, let's do it, let's get the government behind us, and let's do this. You know, we've been established since 2003, and I've seen no changes except more money, higher cost. And if you can tell me how this reason we built the hubs was to give football in, week out, because they're all rained off. Yet we know there's leagues who play on grass, and we love those leagues. You know, be all and end all is not just the hubs, it's everything. You've got to make sure that kids get the chance to play on grass as well, because the Premier League play on grass. Unless there's big plans to get rid of grass altogether and just start using these 3G, 4G pitches in the Premier Leagues. Will it ever happen? I don't know. The way change is coming and the FA are doing things, maybe, but there's, you know, under soil heating now, which is making a difference to all these games not being called off. You've got great groundsmen making sure when the rains come, torrential rain, they're all working on it and they're making it, but there's nothing better than grass football, there really isn't. And you know, getting covered in mud and seeing those, and going back years ago when it used to be football at its best, that really did. But yet change does come, and we have to get used to it, as they say. But I think we can also now say that there's enough money in this country to make sure that kids can go and play the sport free. Let's bring it right down. Let's build grass pitches with great drainage. Let's not get rid of greenery to build all these hubs and I know it's Leisure United who are getting all these hubs, and if you look in the background of Leisure United, they're supported by the likes of the Premier League, all of the governing bodies, they all have a say in it, and I do believe that someone from Leisure United is on their panels. So why is money going to money, basically? And that's what it is. You've got to make it a little bit cheaper for the kid, or free. Free football would be ideal if we could. Yet we all know that you do need to buy things in and it's not going to be all free. We all know that this world is all about money, and that is just it, pure money. And we can, you know, we've got these charitable organisations like us trying to get things, make a difference, but the governments know that, and they'll look, and you see something that'll a tragedy that'll happen. The government don't put money into it because they know the good people of the community will actually do that and set up fundraisers. Like ourselves, we do things to help the community. It's the people themselves who are helping the people themselves, if you know where I'm coming from. Yeah, there's charitable organisations set up for the likes of your hospitals, big hospitals, but people behind those charitable organisations are employed. They're employed, and you look at their wages at the end of it. Yes, this is what it is, but you look at the likes of ours, CIC, everything that we do goes right back into everything that we believe in, which is grassroots football and kids playing sport. We build this to try and keep kids occupied, to give them a voice, to bring them in here, give them the confidence, and we want people behind us, and we go cap in hand and put in for lottery grants if we can get them, and we ask people to come and help us to try and make sure we can achieve this. You know, it's a long time since 2009 or 2008 in the CIC, making things happen, making things work. We don't spend millions on getting people to support respect like the FA do with a forerunner for the respect campaign, by the way, with Don't Cross the Line. Look back in your history just to see when we were going and what we've done. And there's a lot that's been taken away from us, from Don't Cross the Line, and used in other organisations as their own. Just have a look at everything that organisations are doing. And behind these organisations, there's a big money-making scheme, I'll tell you that now. Whether it's business, whether it's selling items, there's always money to be made. We'll try and make money to give back to grassroots football, to give the kids the benefit of the doubt, the parents cheaper football, free football if we can. So this is why DXTL is fighting for change in grassroots football, because change is better in your pocket than out to somewhere else. We've got to look at it, we've got to really look at it, and we have been writing to MPs, getting them on board with us, and we want to make a difference to grassroots football financially, and look at the likes of courses, DBS checks, safeguarding courses, everything that there's been money made on, and all the government bodies who are making money out of grassroots football as well, renting out their 3G, 4G pitches, making and just saying, yeah, well, it's cheaper than theirs because theirs is 50, ours is 40, whatever it may be. But it's wrong. I think governing bodies and organisations who have hubs, because they have bars in there making money as well, pasties, food, having a monopoly. That's what they're getting, the monopoly in grassroots football. It's become a major impact in grassroots football, and the fines are going extreme. And as we say, the sin bins now, fines are going up. You can just look at it, it's becoming, as I said the other day, racing was the sport of kings. I think it's getting taken over now by grassroots football, because you need a lot of money to enter your child in a football team. You know, and there's many clubs out there as well who are charging extreme prices on signing on fees, and they say they coincide because the FA are charging us so much money, so we need to recuperate and get that back. I don't believe leagues should be sitting here on thousands and thousands of pounds, because people join those leagues as members. They're members, that is their money. They pay that money in, all the dues from the parents, what they collect, what they fundraise, and then they pay it in. And leagues are making a nest egg and building up their money in there, and that's not right. If you look in the FA handbook as well, it should be spent on all the kids, and that's what I used to do when I partnered the Anfield Junior League. The committee were brilliant. We made sure that we spent on big trophies, and all we had was a couple of £100 going into the following season. We done it right. We done it by the FA handbook. But leagues now are just building up a nest egg and having thousands, and dictating to those teams as well what they should do, what they shouldn't do, fining teams as well. Now we've got to really draw the line and bring people together. We have been with Don't Cross the Line since 2003, and we want to do it again. We're not having a go at leagues, we're not having a go at teams, at coaches, at managers. We're trying to bring everyone together, even governing bodies. Let's bring everyone to get together and make a difference. Make a difference, even the referees as well. Let's just start capping things and making it affordable, if not free. And I'm hoping that I get loads of support out there, because DXTL are rooting for change. They really are in grassroots football, and we need your support. So give us a message, mal@don'ttexttheline.com. Get behind what we're trying to do, and we'll talk about this week in, week out, whenever we're out and about at grassroots football. If you agree with me, please send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or the social network sites, and email me. We need your support, and I think we're going to gain your support, because a lot of people out there do agree. If we don't do something about it now, in less than 10 years' time, grassroots football could be finished, and we don't want to see that. We'll be back again tomorrow evening at round about 3 o'clock. Oh, it's Premier League, isn't it? 7 o'clock round about. So in the meantime, thank you for tuning in. From Mal and Don't X the Line and this moth that I'm going to get in a minute. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night. God bless.